It's the 15th of September and I'm Tom Glasson. Welcome to The Roast. Tonight, the terror alert has been raised from medium to high. So, I'd better update the old national terror chart here. We get that across. And then update the old terrified Tom chart from quivering mess to uninformed vigilante. All right, Team Australia, adopt defensive positions. And someone grab me my pitchfork. I've got some races to profile. Of course, by asking everyone to be vigilant, the Australian government has effectively deputised all of Australia into ASIO. That's pretty cool, especially if you're a terrorist, because now you're a mole inside ASIO. But as Australia's newest spy, I've busted out all the gear to get the job done. Here you go, let's see what we got here. Got my deputy cowboy hat, we'll pop that on. My deputy badge, there you go. Obviously my deputy pervert binoculars, and most important of all, my standard issue deputy incognito disguise. First though, here is Mark Humphries with the headlines. I am so sneaky.
Greg Norman, famous golfer and man I'll look like in 20 years, has had an accident. No, he didn't lose another US major. He's had a mishap with a chainsaw. Here's the great white shark before the accident.
Time to trim the sea grapes today. Never ask someone to do something that you can do yourself.
I like your confidence, Greg. You give it to those sea grapes.
Working with a chainsaw, always be respectful of the unexpected.
Greg Norman there, the latest victim of Western Australia's shark cull. Norman came close to severing one of his hands, so not only will his golf game suffer, but also his Instagram game. That was his selfie hand. But he seems to have taken it in good spirit.
All well the morning after the accident. Here I am at the scene of the crime with my new fashion statement.
And if you think Greg looks bad, you should see the sea grape. Also, if you're wondering why he was sawing a tree, you've got to remember, golfers hate trees.
Right there. That's the ball, right there.
Seriously though, get well, Greg. Otherwise you'll have to rely on the Greg Norman stunt double you appear to be building. Black Caviar, the champion racehorse that makes Far Lap look like a heart in a jar, has delivered her first foal, and it's a girl. Meaning the hottest question in the racing industry right now is, how long until we can hit her with a whip? Caviar's managing owner Neil Werrett was present for the birth and said she did it all very naturally with very little assistance. And I'm sure she'll constantly brag about that at dinner parties and make all the other horse mothers who used pain relief feel pathetic. There's no word yet on what the horse's name will be, but my money's on, well, no matter what I guess, it won't be as ridiculous as what it ends up being, so I'll just say Mary. The horse was sired by Exceed and Excel. Sired, of course, is the industry terminology for putting a stud in the same pen as the female horse, so they can do it horsey style. The foal is expected to be trained by Peter Moody, Black Caviar's former trainer and personal kisser.
I wanna kiss you all over. Over again.
Welcome to the world, little horse. I look forward to you not living up to your mother's legacy. Kanye West, the most important artist of all time, according to Kanye West, stopped his Sydney concert because two fans with disabilities wouldn't stand up. Let's have a toast for the douchebags, specifically Kanye West. Mr. Yeezy paused his Sydney gig mid-song to find out who dares sit during Kanye time.
Now, if he is in a wheelchair, then it's fine. And he in a wheelchair there?
And what if he isn't, Kanye? You're not rapping the national anthem. But the actual reason for the person sitting soon became obvious.
One fan waved his prosthetic leg to Kanye in explanation.
So put your limbs in the air if you just need to prove to Kanye West that you have a disability. Yeezus, for the roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thank you, Mark. And look, not to be that guy, but rapping the national anthem was my idea back in 2002. Turns out the world just wasn't ready for the release of Tiny TG, Advance Australia Fair.
For we are young and
Next up tonight, terrorism. You know, that thing that ruined the early 2000s more than having to refer to the decade as the noughties is back. And in response, the Prime Minister announced on Friday that the terror alert is being raised. Like the pants height on an ageing man, we've gone from medium to high. So should we be concerned? Well, the National Terrorism Public Alert System has 4 levels that indicate the risk of a terrorist threat to Australia. What are they?
Low. A terrorist threat is unlikely.
And that's a comforting level. probably. It hasn't been low since 2001, so it's difficult to remember. Basically, it's the able to take shampoo onto a plane again threat level.
Medium. Terrorist attack could occur.
Also at the medium or could occur level, every other possible way you could die. Next up.
High. Terrorist attack is likely.
Likely, but with no specific information about when or where an attack could occur, which, when you think about it, is actually much more terrifying than the highest level.
Extreme. Terrorist attack is imminent or has occurred.
An alert for an attack that's already occurred. Quick, someone warned Darwin they're about to be bombed 60 years ago. But thankfully, we're not at extreme. So for those at home wondering what a high terror threat means for you, this roast public service announcement has you covered.
Now, we all know Australia is famous for its laid-back lifestyle, and by raising the terror threat, the Australian government isn't saying that's all going to disappear in an instant because of a terrorist attack! But we are saying there are new risks you should be aware of. So snap out of it! And be alert. That's not to say you can't go outdoors. It's great to enjoy Australia's landmarks. Sure, I'll take a photo of you. On the count of 3, 1, 2, say, "Why the f*** are you smiling?" Huh? And because there's not much you can actually do, you can continue enjoying your life as you are. Just do it with an overwhelming sense of dread! Because if we give up the way of life we have, the terrorists win. So be as scared as you want on the inside, but on the outside, pretend that you're as happy and free as ever. A cappuccino with 1, please! Be alert. Be very alert. But more importantly, remain calm!
Oh my. Now that I think about it, my bus driver didn't smile at me this morning. I wonder if he was a terrorist. Better to be safe than sorry. Here we go. All right. Operator, get me ASIO. Oh. Let's dial the number myself. We'll be right back.
Have you ever wanted to wreak havoc on the nation and its people? What's your address? When's a time you won't be home so ASIO can go through your garbage? We'd love to hear about it at the Roast TV or hashtag Roast TV.
Now, obviously, no one wants a terrorist attack on our soil, but at the same time, raising the terror alert can create a climate of fear more than one of caution. So for more on what we can expect if these conditions continue, let's cross to Alex Lee with the terror forecast.
Thanks, Tom. To the national outlook first, and terrorism has been moved to a category high threat. So that's due to affect anyone living in this general area. So do keep a lookout for a general sense of fear and dread descending on the country. That's being fanned by extremist conditions and the winds of hysteria. Now, this will bring with it a low tolerance pressure system. So expect random phone calls to police based on nothing more than neighbours seeing a man with suspicious hair connected to their chin and neck. Now, that'll make it harder for security agencies to forecast outbreaks of actual terrorists. And finally, there will be an increase of armed police at airports. So if you are intending to fly, expect some major disruption to your schedule and to your orifices. So if you're out this weekend, just to be safe, be sure to pack a change of facial expression to go from this to this.
Always good to be prepared. And with dozens of Australians travelling to Iraq and Syria to fight alongside extremist groups, things are going to be a little more serious around here.
Abbott said the change in terror alert level would be accompanied by a modest public information campaign to promote the National Terrorism Hotline number 1800 123 400.
Oh, that is not the number I just dialed. Who the hell did I report my bus driver to? You know, if they want to make that number more memorable, they need to make a jingle. Reporting suspicious activity, it's as easy as 123 400. Add 1800 at the start. Yeah. So back when the terror alert level was at medium, we were told to be alert and not alarmed. Now the alert level is at high. Should we all be alert and freak the hell out? Jazz Twemlow joins me now. Jazz, should I keep panicking and emigrate to the ocean?
Not really. Lots of bad things happen in Australia all the time, Tom. We don't have an alert for each one. What's the vicious mugging alert level today?
I don't know.
Well, exactly, there isn't one. So why make us fearful about this? Especially when there is no specific intelligence about specific plots. What's the word for a phobia where you don't know what you're afraid of?
But this isn't about making us scared, it's about increasing vigilance.
Oh yeah, the implication being that when the terror alert isn't raised, raised, we don't notice obviously terroristy things. Oh, why is that person sticking electrical wires into compost? Well, the terror alert's set to low. I guess he must just be building a smelly clock.
So you're suggesting we lower the terror alert level?
Oh God, no, not now. Once you've raised it, you're f***ed. No, lowering it just says we were scared of terrorists, but not anymore. Now we're leaving the front door open and any average Joe Hardy can come in and plot their attack. No, the terrorist alert level is like a puppy. Once you've raised it, it almost seems wrong to put it down. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Jazz. A very well-reasoned argument for the need to stay calm. Is he gone? Excuse me. Hello, ASIO. I was just talking to a grumpy young man who isn't taking this terror threat seriously. Yes, he did have a beard. Yep, foreign accent. Yep, ridiculously made-up name. You did? Thank you. Great. Yes, I did something. I said something. Now I can relax.
Yes, you've done well, Tom. You may rest with one eye open!